God is love. He encourages us to love others as much as He loves us. God created the institution of marriage, and it is His will for all of His children to be happily married and fulfilled in marriage. Choosing a spouse can be daunting for some. Many fear that they would choose wrongly, while many fear that whoever they choose might not be God's will for them. All of God's children must know that God wills for them to be happy with whoever they end up with. He makes beauty out of our lives. Marriages are not left out. God might also direct you to the proper person using your passion, activity, or gift. Some relationships, for instance, have their roots in simply hanging out for the love of adventure, music, or the arts. Other people have come together over books, animals, or sports. Keep in mind that even your personality and skills are from the Lord. When He decided to give you your personality and intrinsic qualities, He probably had your love story in mind. Number 5. Challenges. Some partnerships have developed as a result of various life situations. Yes, God very well could expose you to the right one through your trials. For instance, when you felt like giving up, this individual could be your encourager, your helper, or your ear. In your time of need, the individuals who truly care about you will show themselves. When things were going well and you had something to offer, you might have a lot of friends, but the real friends would be by your side when times were tough and you had nothing. Number 6. Ministry. The love of God has brought together a lot of Christian marriages. Some might have simply been church friends to begin with. Then, they might have ended up in the same ministry like the praise team, college ministry, or Sunday school. They would grow to know one another better as they served the Lord together. They also realized they were a fantastic match, thanks to their mutual passion. What is your present ministry then? This may be the ideal option if you wish to marry an experienced Christian partner, but are not yet a member of one. Before joining a ministry, though, be certain that your goal is to serve God, and that this is your true motivation. The majority of happy unions are founded on strong friendships. Furthermore, it is very advised that Christian couples establish a friendship first before entering a love relationship. Even more so than through dating, friendship enables two people to get to know each other thoroughly. The Lord frequently permits future partners to begin as close friends without any romantic interest. Since they have no incentive to impress anyone, it enables them to be authentic with one another. Who knows? You might now find yourself dating one of your close pals, so the only thing left for you to do is to be a true friend to everyone. Of course, if you want God to bring you to your spouse, praying for the proper person will be quite helpful. You are seeking God's will for your marriage if you pray. It implies that you are pleading with God to rule this aspect of your life. And when God grants your request, it will be obvious to you because you will be able to see the person to whom you have been praying. It is best to list the precise qualities you wish your spouse to have when you pray for your future spouse. Of course, they must reflect Christ and exalt the Lord. Additionally, it is not a good idea to be praying for a particular person, because that would be ordering God. Unfortunately, not all happy unions have had a good beginning. Some people started in sin and are no longer in God's good graces. Some might have injured others. Others got their start with toxic components and abuse. According to the outside world, these marriages were unhealthy and unsustainable. These shattered couples, however, saw healing after giving their lives to God and inviting Jesus into their unions. God can change people's lives and relationships because, with Him, nothing is impossible. Being believers shows that we have the Spirit of God inside of us. There is usually this witness of God in us when we are about to do the right things or even the wrong things. Similarly, when we are about to make major choices like choosing a spouse, we have our intuition fueled by God to make the right decisions. You might feel strong emotions toward a certain person. It might be unlike something that you have ever felt before. It is usually like an intense feeling of love that you fight so much, but it won't just leave. Be careful to be sure that your feelings are not just mere infatuation for a person. You might be required to talk to someone or be patient and be sure of what you feel. God may choose to introduce you to your spouse via dreams, visions, trances, prophecies, or other unconventional methods. Divine orchestration is a strategy God employs to communicate His intentions to us. He will supernaturally set up the situation and conditions of your encounter. If God had brought you together, you would be aware of it. God guided you to a relationship if you are at peace. It implies that apart from Him, there was no other way to experience love, joy, or fulfillment. So that you might live the life you deserve, He has led you to this person and to this specific time. It's crucial to your relationship that you help your partner feel at peace. This is a signal that both you and your partner are at peace with one another. If two people are meant to be together, they will eventually find one another and feel comfortable in their union. Although the future is unclear, optimism is always a good notion. You're on the right track if you consider having a future together to be a sign of a fulfilling relationship. How you envision your future as a couple reflects the health of your relationship. People who view their relationships positively tend to be happier than those who view them negatively. If you look at the world through rose-colored glasses, you should feel optimistic about the future of your relationship. Give God your entire list of anxieties. A sign that God brought you together is that God is leading you. That your relationship with your soulmate is divinely guided can be powerfully confirmed by this thought. You might have run across each other at an event, a church, or some other holy place. Relationships can be strengthened by using this. Nevertheless, it serves as a reminder to pay closer attention to how we connect and form bonds with other people in our lives, because they might not be as random as we might believe. We should treat people well and be nice to as many people. Every sincere follower of God will make an effort to support the choices He has made for them, especially when it comes to marriage. While discussing how God leads you to your spouse, we need to first discuss how God confirms who to marry. It won't be difficult to confirm His will if you understand how to discern it. God will provide you with a divine direction in marriage in the same manner that He does in other areas of your life before marriage enters the scene. If you haven't been walking closely with Him before being married, it could be difficult for you to figure out how. This is why everyone should have a personal relationship with God. This ensures a smooth transition from that moment you meet the person to that moment you say "I do" on the altar. No one wants to get hurt in the process of choosing a spouse. Get acquainted with the ways of God, and you will choose rightly. What a wonderful thing it would be to find your partner through relatives. We are not discussing an arranged union here. Alternatively, you may meet the person through a sibling or your parents. They might even be a relative's acquaintance. For instance, that person might be the son or daughter of a friend of your mum, with whom you have practically grown up. Alternatively, it can be your sister's close friend, who has been coming around ever since they were in high school. Another illustration of how unexpected God's ways are is this. The wonderful thing about this arrangement is that you would have no trouble getting used to one another. Since you two have a long history together, it will be easier to trust one another.